And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to opening day women's college basketball. From the campus of the University of Tampa, the Tampa Spartans get ready to take on the Spring Hill Badgers in a SSC SIAC crossover meeting. And the same two teams will hang around Tampa and play different teams tomorrow as Rollins beat West Georgia about a half hour ago on this very court. So tomorrow the Spartans will take on West Georgia and Rollins will take on Spring Hill Badgers. Jack Ike along with two-time Hall of Famer DeCarlo DeVoe. And we're back and ready for another season, DeCarlo.
Yes, sir, Jack. I've been waiting this all summer long, and now we're here. Fall is starting, winter is coming, but we're in sunny Tampa, Florida, so it's always warm here, especially in the house of the Spartans.
Maya Gusto being introduced as the first starter for the the Spartans, and she is a 5'5 junior from Naples, Florida. Number 4 is Audra Leopold, a grad student transferring in from Seffner, Florida, played at Samford University and Seffner Christian Academy. Malia Sullivan will, believe it or not, be starting her senior year today. The 5'11 guard from Bartow, Florida, went to Winter Haven High School. Sydney Kinn, another transfer, a 6'3 senior from Cary, Ohio, played at the University of Findlay. The Spartans are coached by Tom Jesse, who is not going to be here this weekend, taking care of a personal situation. Caitlin Mitrick, longtime associate head coach in her 9th season with the program, a 2010 graduate of UT, and a 2-year letter winner. I would say the Spartans, knowing Caitlin, are in capable hands.
Most definitely, and a little bit of history about this game. Coach Joe Nyland, who was here my freshman year, upon leaving UT, became a coach at Spring Hill University, and then he retired from coaching and became the school's athletic director.
Huh.
So I texted him right before the game. He said to take it easy on him.
Spartans win possession. They are going left to right, wearing the white uniform. Sullivan bounces around, not in.
That's the area where you want to use the glass.
Starting lineups for the Spring Hill Badgers, they'll have number 00, Yolanda Nelson. She's a 5'4 junior from Gulfport, Mississippi. Number 32, I'm Unique Bowie, a freshman, 5'7 from Mobile, Alabama. Number 1 is Nyanite Pook, a 5'9 sophomore from Des Moines, Iowa, and Spring Hill goes up 2-0.
Yeah, almost right on cue. As you mentioned her name, she hits a shot for Spring Hill.
Number 55 is Jordan Bowden, a 6'2 freshman from Dunwoody, Georgia. And I'd get you the final player, but her hair is blocking her uniform number. She's got the ball. Let's see who that is.
And Malia Sullivan opening up the scoring for the UT Spartans to knock the game.
Knocked a 3 down, yeah. So the Spartans take a 3-2 lead.
She's actually extended her range. She was more of a mid-range shooter. Now
Yeah.
She opens up the season. Her first points are a three-pointer. That's a good sign for things to come.
10-minute quarters in women's basketball.
Love the format. Hopefully the men will follow suit pretty soon.
Audrey Ramsey, the 5th starter for the Spartans, a junior from Boca Raton, Florida, Boca Raton High School. And they're going to have to inbound the ball again.
And while we're here, Jack, I want to extend my warm sentiments of congrats to Mr. Gil Swalls, who was inducted in the UT Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well deserved. Longtime marketing director here. Had other roles over the course of about a 30-year career here.
Yep. That was that. He was inducted actually on the ceremony that was on the 20th of October.
Just a couple weeks ago.
Yep. So congrats, Gil.
Should mention we have the entire band back together again as Andre's running the camera and the board for us.
That goes without mention, man. The three amigos.
Yeah. Also in the lineup for Spring Hill is number 22, Madison Dowling, a 5'10 freshman. Inside to Kin, and she scores.
Yeah, and coming by and watching the practice on Wednesday, speaking with Coach Caitlin, Coach Tommy Jones, and Coach Elena, who's not here today either, but they said that Sydney is a nice fill-in for Dory. She's very skilled and athletic and very efficient on both ends of the floor. Nice
take there in the score. Basket by Nelson. You look at who the Spartans lost from last year. Significant losses. Dory Nudge, former Conference Player of the Year. LaShayla Wright-Ponder, an all-conference player. Aaliyah Abney, all-conference mentioned. Kayla Bonilla, a great point guard for the Spartans. Terry Battle, great off the bench. And Sylvia Ferreros. And that's 6 players gone from the Spartans. I did a little adding up of some things. That's 48.5 points gone from last year out of 77. And also almost 27 rebounds out of 37 rebounds.
Right, and if you look across from us where we're sitting, Aaliyah Abney, I think she went to the bathroom, but she was sitting right across from us.
She went to the scorer's table.
Okay, now I see her. I told her prior to the game I'll miss watching her play.
Yeah.
And it looks like Dory is in the crowd, sitting with her legs over the chair.
Okay, that looks like, yeah.
Yeah. She's quite at home here in Tampa, Florida.
Gusto from the deep corner, good. Spartans up 8-7, 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they're like two heavyweights right now going blow for blow.
Now, you look at the lineup that Spring Hill put out there. They've got Nelson, a junior. Pook is a sophomore. Dowling is a freshman. Bowden is a freshman. And Bowie is a freshman. 3 freshmen, 4 sophomores. This team was 4-24 last year. So you can see that maybe there's some changes going on.
Right.
Bringing in some new players to get a kind of a reload or a restocking of talent as it might be.
Lot of youth.
Yes.
In this lineup, and a lot of room for growth also. And as you say that, Nyanette Pook. Yeah, very slick ball handling, very smooth ball handling. She missed her first free throw.
Nyanette Pook.
Nyanette.
Yes.
Okay.
Nyanette Pook.
I need my UT education to kick in.
Well, I haven't. There it is, right there. I did my notes.
No, I got you, Jack. Thank you for the hooked on phonics.
Inside to Kin, has him battled away, and Dowling kicks it out to Nelson.
For such a young team, they're playing pretty poised right now.
That's Pook. Loses the dribble, bounces it outside. Bowden, and she knocks it down, and it's 10-8. Spring Hill, the Badgers on top. Now the Spartans, we talked about Spring Hill 4-24 last year. Spartans were 29-6.
Yeah.
Conference champs with a 17-3 record. Did lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament of Valdosta State.
Yeah, so they're pretty much continuing from their successful runs. I mean, they consistently the past decade, they've been one of the top teams, if not the top team, in the Sunshine State Conference for women's basketball.
Eleanor Marcheski checking in for Tampa, for Malia Sullivan. Eckerd is picked preseason favorite to win the conference. Tampa's second. Tampa ranked 17th preseason nationally in Division II. Eckerd ranked higher than Tampa nationally, so Eckerd's getting some preseason accolades as well.
It's good for the conference. I mean, when we play Rollins, I'm definitely going to pull for UT, but it was nice to see Rollins, starting off their season with the win.
Yep.
It upholds the strength of the Sunshine State Conference.
Drive doesn't go down by Bowie. Was getting some pronunciations before the game, and I got to Bowie's name, and I'm looking at it, and the manager said, "I am unique."
I am unique, Bowie. That's unique.
Yes. Yep. Nelson missing. Rebound Gusto. 10-10 game. 5.5 to go first quarter. Season opener, folks. Basketball tomorrow. Inside to Kin. Has it blocked.
That was nice defense by Spring Hill. I might add.
Little scoop shot doesn't fall. Kin rebounds to Gusto.
Yeah, but Kim comes back with a tough rebound.
Now you mentioned Kin. They mentioned might be it looks to be a pretty good replacement for Dory Nudge. Oh, Gusto on fire early.
Yeah, I remember her game last year at St. Leo, man, and that dramatic comeback. She hit 5 or 6 threes
in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
But Kin, a transfer from the University of Findlay, started all 30 games last year. This is a person who has D1 experience as a starter. 17-9 last year, 17 points a game, 9 rebounds, averaging just about a double-double.
Yes.
And a 3-time first-team Great Midwest Conference player. So she's got some experience. We're down to 4:24. This is the under 5 timeout. We'll stay with it here, but it's 13-10 Tampa.
Yeah, I think Sydney, and coming to watch her practice, the coaches spoke very highly of her. I mean, she's going to be. They say she's a bit more athletic than Dory is, as far as running, jumping. But so she'll be a great fill-in and sign of good things to come with her efforts this season.
Spartans did add a few people via the transfer portal, including Sydney Kin and Audra Leopold, both starting today. Also on that list, Sarah Jones, who we got to know last year, basically because she sat near us while we were broadcasting the games, and she is a transfer from Embry-Riddle University. Also transferring is Alani Gallagher, a 6-foot grad who transferred from St. Leo.
Right. She's kind of like a stretch 4, but I'll tell you this. She's very good inside from when I watched the practice this past Wednesday.
She led the SSC in blocks and was SSC Defensive Player of the Year. Kin inside, reverse layup.
Oh, wow. I teach those kids that same reverse mic-in move. That's all that is. And being from Ohio, there's a certain level of expectations that you have of players from certain regions. And she looks very fundamentally sound. Now I see why she was all-conference player and started all 30 games last season.
Bounce outside. Spartans get the ball back, holding on to a 5-point lead.
Better than nothing.
Ramsey got bumped on her way down court.
I'll say this. Ramsey looks a lot more confident, knowing that, her like she has certain levels of expectation and minutes to be played.
Yeah, she's got a new role this year.
And she's going to make the most of it.
Leopold back in the lineup. Ramsey with the ball. Spartans are 6 of 9 shooting so far in this game.
I think anyone will live with that.
Pass deflected on the way into Kin.
Just another 2 inches higher, that pass gets completed.
Yep. In and out on the 3.
That's called home court advantage, Jack.
Gusto off a pick from Kin. Jumper inside the arc, but no good.
Good defense.
Tipped away by Ramsey.
Nice switch on the defensive recovery. Oh, that's
Nelson,
nice.
Yeah, jumper in the lane, rattles it home, 15-12.
Yeah, most of those, except for the opening jumper, most of Spring Hill shots have been like mid-range and side tight.
Gusto, ball fake, skip
nice
pass. Leopold, no. Kin runs it down, good save. Okay. I thought she'd bounced it off Bowie, but she had stepped out of bounds prior to that happening.
Right, understood. It did hit Bowie, but her foot was on the line. Yep. Great observation, Jack. 20/20 vision.
That's what I'm paid for. I'm wearing my glasses today. Bowie, short, fouled on the way in. Spartans men's basketball team opening this season today, too. They are on the road up at Montevallo. Or playing, I should say, Montevallo. That game will start at 5. They are on a crossover weekend as well, as they'll play Alabama Huntsville tomorrow. You and I got a chance to watch the men's team in an exhibition against South Florida D1 opponent, and they really played well. Eventually lost by 5, I believe it was, or maybe less. Had the lead up until about 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, they enjoyed a 13-point halftime lead at that game, and they also had a very good game against Stetson. Also, two, what you would believe to be superior D1 opponents, but UT, it seems like they almost seem a bit more cohesive, like they lean on one another. With some of which we'll come to see as we broadcast future games, a lot of improvement in some of the key players from last season to this season for the men.
Aaron Antosh into the lineup for the Spartans. So is Sarah Jones. Sarah, the transfer we just mentioned from Embry-Riddle, as the Spartans have 2 conference opponents providing players this year. Aaron Antosh, a senior, been really solid numbers over the years, mostly as a bench player, coming off the bench, giving some really good solid minutes.
Right.
But then when Dory Nudge is the player ahead of you, it's understandable.
She filled in nicely when Dory was injured also. And I'll tell you this, the lady you mentioned, Sarah Jones, in talking with the coaches this Wednesday at practice, she's quite a spark plug. She's still figuring out the system because she's been away from basketball for a little while, but the talent is there. They said she's like a mini microwave, coming off the bench. She finds her spots because she definitely is skilled, and she will definitely be a key contributor for this team as the season progresses.
And there she has the ball. Inside, a little 12-footer, doesn't go.
Right on cue, she shot that. If she would have hit it, I guess she would have heard me talking about her.
Yeah. I thought they all wore earpieces so they could hear us, didn't they?
But she's a super person, always. I've never seen her without a smile, and that magnetic energy it becomes infectious, and you positively infect your teammates and everybody that you come across.
Ramsey zigzags across the court, gets it to Gusto. And there's Jones. Doesn't fall.
Not yet. I would say opening up 0 for 2 with 2 jump shots. Not bad shots, but if she could get something going to the lane where she gets fouled or gets a layup, then that little mental game you start to win because that ball goes through the net.
Get the feel of it, seeing it go through,
Amen to that.
16-14, 41 seconds left, first quarter. We are happy to be here, as we will be all season long. We'll be here again tomorrow, 3 o'clock tip-off against West Georgia. I suppose I should say a 3 o'clock-ish tip-off.
I thought it was 2.
Is it 2? I better make sure I show up on time, huh? 2, you're right, 2 o'clock. Good thing you told me. 2 o'clock. Volleyball playing at 7 tonight. One of the top volleyball teams in the nation, and they are defending NCAA D2 champs.
Right. I mean, my daughter, she works in the athletic department. and I brag. I talk about her. I tell her GPA, as she's on the dean's list and receiving high accolades as far as GPA and honors, her GPA is higher than my assist average while I was here at UT.
That's not that hard to do, though, right? You could have a D average, right?
I was a scorer, Jack. I was a scorer, but nevertheless, she's not here, but she told me she's volunteering, actually. She's doing some community service. That's why she's not here today, but she will be here at the volleyball game.
See, all that
tonight.
tells me is her GPA is higher than a .8.
Oh. Like I say, I know, right? That's not hard to improve
Maybe, no,
upon.
let me guess. Do you know what your assist was? I'd say 3.5.
No, I would probably cut it like into twos.
Okay, still.
Yeah.
All right.
I was eligible, put it that way. But her GPA is around 4.0 status.
Nice.
Wow, she's applying herself just as well as I did athletically. She's doing so academically. It's not to say I didn't apply myself academically, but I'd say in the family, I'm losing the student battle to my daughter.
At the end of the first quarter, Spartans with the 18-14 lead. They are 7 of 15 from the floor. That's 46.7%. 3 of 6 from 3 and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Spring Hill is 5 of 12 from the floor, 41.7. 1 of 2 from deep and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Spartans with only 4 rebounds. Spring Hill with 7. Second quarter just about ready. Spring Hill will inbound. Coming into the lineup is number 24, Amira Harris, a junior from Charleston, South Carolina. Spring Hill is coached by Karen McConico. Assistant coach is Sydney Westry. Spartans, as we mentioned, Tom Jesse not here today. Caitlin Mitrick, associate head coach. Head coach today. Assistant coaches are Tommy Jones and Elena D'Alfredo.
Right. I've known Coach Jones for quite some time, Jack. Actually, Tampa Prep High School used to be on the campus of University of Tampa.
Okay.
I've known him from those days. He had a nephew, Rocky, that was a very good football player. And Coach Jones, I'll tell you this, he must live in a time machine because he looks the exact same of when I met him over 20 years ago. Same weight, same height, same everything. Good-natured, hard-nosed, but he'll tell you exactly how it is, and he'll also tell you what you have to do to get better. Now, he's just coming over from being the head coach at HCC men's program. So, as they say, basketball is basketball, whether it's men or women.
Yep. Sullivan gets the inbounds. Ramsey looking. Gusto directs traffic a little bit. Sullivan inside to Kin, lays it up and in.
Nice pass. High-low action.
Kin taking over the scoring lead with 8.
And UT definitely has a size advantage as far as height. Yeah, because Kin, looking at her, she's about a legit 6'3".
In NCAA Division II.
Antosh at 6'3" as well. Right now, Kin leads with 8. Gusto is 7. Sullivan with 5. There's all your points in 3 players.
Yeah, Kin, the type of shape she looks like she's in, like she could have run the Boston Marathon and still come back and play a 40-minute basketball game. You look Spartans. I'll tell you this, seeing Caitlin over there on the sidelines, that's a picture of excellence herself from a player or coaching standpoint. Because prior to transferring to UT and playing for Coach Jesse, she was quite a player at USF, and then she became quite a player here at UT.
Well, that's a similar path that Dory Nudge took as well, USF to Tampa.
Right.
Inside Sullivan, great pass from Kin.
Nice ball movement. cohesive, feeding off one another.
Biggest lead of the game, 7 now, 22-15.
And this is where sometimes the inexperience and the home court advantage starts to kick in.
Steal by Sullivan, pushing it up court. Does she try to go all the way? Stops, travels though, unfortunately.
She took one dribble just a bit too, she was indecisive. And that's how it is in the early games in the season. By midseason, she'll be making a lot better decisions.
Talking to a Spring Hill player who's not suited up, Kayla Keller, before the game, I asked if they came in yesterday, and she said yes. And I said, really? You came in during the hurricane? She goes, it was quite the bus ride.
Wow.
Deep three, and it's 22-18. As she said, normally it's about a 7.5-hour trip. It took 10.5.
Wow.
And she said we were doing about 40 instead of 55 to 60.
Gotcha.
And we were constantly feeling the bus getting blown a little side to side.
Wow. But I'll tell you this, they're not showing any signs of bus lag.
No.
I mean, they're out running like some stallions.
Right there. Oh, wouldn't fall, though. Kin with the rebound. Deep three. Okay. Jones. There you go. Knocks it down.
Three is a charm. I guess she doesn't need a layup. Sarah Jones with her first points as a UT Spartan.
Well, one thing to say is she hasn't been hesitant as a new player to look for her shot.
No, she's confident. And like Coach Jones said, and also Coach Elena, they both said she's going to find her spots, because she knows how to play. It's just a matter of being a part of this Spartan system.
Mm-hmm. Coach Mitrick, before the game, did tell me, she said the transfers are fitting in well because they bring experience that's already there. The freshmen still learning the game, may take a little more time. Jones again. Short, airballed it. Kin saves it, but taken away by Spring Hill.
Now I'll tell you this, Eleanor, she was in perfect position to get that ball, but you got to meet the pass instead of letting it come to you.
Nice pass, Marcheski. Pass from Gusto to Marcheski for the layup, and it's 27-18.
Yeah, but she made up for it by running the floor and making that layup.
Spring Hill with a couple more substitutions. Zariel Jordan in the lineup.
And I think this year, Eleanor, she should probably be a lot more comfortable because last season, being new, you're trying to find your way. I think now everything is crystal clear as far as what she has to do. She was a key contributor in some games last season, and she's versatile. She adds good versatility. She could guard the post, the wing, and she could also play inside, outside on offense. So versatility is one of her best assets. Good defense.
Yeah, there was 1 second on the shot clock, and the Spartans just held their ground and made a difficult shot for Zariel Jordan.
And good good way to pressure Maya, but without fouling. She was right there. She caught the ball and turned to shoot.
Outside, Jones loads it up. Won't fall this time. Pass out of bounds. Turnover. Spring Hill.
Seems like Jones she's comfortable behind the three-point arc as we heard. So as far as the season progressing, because this is really her first official game in over 2 years.
Yep.
And talking about official games, Jack, I'm going to play in a tournament this weekend. I don't know what I'm doing or thinking, but I actually have a game tonight at 6.
Whoa. And are you the young guy on the team?
No, it's actually a 50-plus tournament.
Okay. So
you are
the young
about
guy.
the same age.
Leopold back in for Tampa, the transfer from Samford University. Leopold is from Seffner Christian Academy here in Hillsborough County. She was a 2-time state champion. I take that back, a 2-time all-state player in high school.
Yeah, that's good company. Well, that's very good company. You know, because I mean, historically, her name will be etched in the record books forever.
And an official timeout. I don't know if they're sorting something out. They stopped play. I think it's a scoreboard issue. You know, last year you looked at the Spartans' schedule for the women, and they, if I remember right, they went to Montana, they went to Alaska,
right.
They went to Hawaii. And Amelia Sullivan, we talked to a couple weeks ago, said it might sound pretty fun. It was actually became kind of a grind because none of those are easy trips. This year, though, after this weekend, the Spartans will get a little ambitious on their schedule as they are heading to Hawaii. They will play Fort Valley State next Wednesday. Conference opener is next Saturday against Barrie right here. Then they go to Hilo, Hawaii for a 2-game tournament with a game actually on Thanksgiving.
Right.
And a Thursday, Friday. Then they'll return home and jump into conference play again to end November.
I tell you this, the travel, the away games when you go off site like that, it's a bonding tool as well as a challenge. You get to experience somewhere, you get to make memories with your teammates that'll last a lifetime. But at the same time, while you're having fun and being a tourist, don't forget the business of basketball, which is nice to be removed. And it's good, you know, it allows you to relax, but you're not in your comfort zone.
Yep. I was just looking at my stats that I print out. We have a new cat, a little kitty, who's 8 months old, and she found my stat sheet and chewed it up a little bit.
At least it wasn't your new shoes.
She is just a rascal. Every so often, the house becomes American Ninja Warrior.
Gotcha, yeah.
She just zooming around, jumping on people, chasing things down. We've tried to convince her we really don't need to see any more lizards brought into the house, but apparently that's one of her goals.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jack. I know it's easier said, it's not as easy as I may say it, but if you could find a way to bottle up Kitty's energy and sell it in the form of a pill or liquid, I think you'd be in the realms of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and the likes.
Yep. The funny thing, just to bore everybody, is she will just be zooming like Ricochet Rabbit, and then you look over and she's just out like a light.
Gotcha. Cat, what do they call them, cat naps?
Yep. And you can't rustle her up for anything when she's finally worn out. 27-18, Spartans by 9. Think we're still dealing with a scoreboard issue. They've even called in Tom Colby to fix this one. And now the scoreboard is out.
It's almost like they have to reset it.
Hit the reset button. Yep.
I'll tell you this, Tom's son at Jesuit, I introduced him to a trainer, and he took his son to the trainer, and guy's name is Cliff Brown. You know, and actually Cliff, he's somewhat new to the area. He's a Mississippi native and went to play football at in Indiana. I think he was a football player, tailback, but now he has a training business, and he's actually going to work here with with the track and field team.
Huh.
So hopefully, he adds whatever it is they need to make themselves better. And it's nice to have made an introduction to help be a catalyst for what can help the UT athletes.
Nice.
And, Tom's son, I think his son Donovan is, he's a quiet kid, but he seems very focused, very analytical. And
I know he's a very good baseball player.
Right. But he's also on the Jesuit football team.
As well.
So it's, Jesuit right now is one of the better programs in the Tampa area. They've always been consistently, but last year they won the state title in football, beat a very good Miami Northwestern team, and beat them here in Tampa. So home field advantage paid off, and I'm sure they're looking to, repeat the success.
Still working on the scoreboard. It was at 4:57 when they stopped at last. They've got 4:50 on the clock at the moment. Putting Aaliyah Abney to the stress test here.
And for the sake of tradition, Jack, here we
hey,
are.
Folks,
our
let's
video.
Do it again.
What's up, Dre? New season.
All right, scoreboard appears to be back. 27-18, that is accurate. 4:57, also accurate. And Spring Hill will inbound.
And let's get it on. Old Marvin Gaye tune.
Yeah. Inbounding the ball to Pook. Driving the lane is Nelson. At the shot clock buzzer, it goes out of bounds. It will stay. Spring Hill ball.
Even though UT did not get the rebound, this is how this works out to the benefit. By keeping the other team from getting that offensive rebound, at least you get to set your defense.
True. And Kin, is she fouled on the rebound, or did they call her for the foul? No, it's a foul on Spring Hill.
I'll tell you this Spring Hill team, even though they're away on the road against a very good opponent in the UT Spartans, but they're feisty. They're not backing down.
Gusto pulls up, airballed that one though.
I tell you this, very short memory. She could have been a cornerback in the NFL because her confidence does not waver at all, and she has a very infectious spirit, Maya Gusto.
Ooh, nice little double pump and in.
Wow. A little bit of hang time.
Yeah. That was Bowie with the double clutch.
She made it look easier than it actually is.
Marcheski with the drive, a little too hard off the glass. Spring Hill comes the other way. Bowie, no one stopping her. A little Euro step, lays it in. 27-22. Bowie now with 7. Leading scorer.
The lead cut to 5.
And she is just a freshman from Mobile, Alabama. Gusto, ball fake, drives, kicks it out. Spartans swing it, eventually back to Gusto. Out to Jones, 3 on the way. Knocks it home.
Yep.
Sarah Jones with 6.
That's a good shot. All of her shots have been characteristically good. Just a matter of her getting more so in the rhythm and flow.
Dribbling it off her foot. Spartans get the
Good
ball.
pass.
Bounce pass up to Gusto, and the layup is in. Nice
Good
pass,
pass.
Sarah Jones to Maya Gusto, and the lead is 10.
She passed that ball at the right time because she occupied the defense, and by the time she threw the ball ahead to Maya, the defense were done.
And she also did a bounce pass, too, to get it through.
It keeps the defensive player from being able to just reach out and tip the pass.
Rebound. Bowie, no good. Kin with the rebound.
And remember, Sarah Jones is also from the Ohio area.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's Cary, Ohio. No. Mason, Ohio. Kin is from Cary. Lays it in on cue. So they cut it to 5, 27-22, but the Spartans have reeled off 7 straight in the last minute and a half.
Double-digit lead. Way to fight through those picks by Sarah Jones.
Two minutes to go in the half.
Good block.
Nice block by Kin. Up to Gusto.
Spartans off and running.
Pass to Kin, lays it up and in. Wow.
Way to reward her. Kin making the block on one end, finishing, running the floor and finishing with the right hand in the lane on the other. Good assist by Maya Gusto.
Back-to-back trips down the floor. Gusto getting the assist. And the trip before that, she was the recipient of an assist.
It becomes infectious, the unselfish play, team cohesiveness.
And a steal by Sarah Jones. She stepped on the line on her way down. I think she was measuring off the dunk, too.
I tell you this.
5-5, I would have loved to see that.
We've heard a lot about Sarah Jones as a shooter and offensive player, but I'm very impressed with her defense. Her defense and unselfish play.
Spartans do make a change. 3 new players in to get a rest. In for the first time for Tampa is Alani Gallagher, a grad student from St. Leo, the one we talked about who led the SSC in blocks and was Defensive Player of the Year last year. She checks in at 6 feet. That's her with the ball. Pass inside to Sullivan. Fade away, 10-footer, won't go.
Good shot. One that she's very capable of making, even though it's a high degree of difficulty.
Steal, Ramsey, or Leopold said, nobody wants it, I'll take it, lay it in.
Nice inside hand finish.
So what was a lead cut to 5 has ballooned to 16 in 3 minutes.
That's one of those pro type runs.
And a steal. Nope, they didn't get it, but a foul on Gusto.
Got her hand caught in the cookie jar. She was reaching, but once she realized she couldn't get the ball, if you pull that hand back, you may save yourself a foul.
Jada Clark in the lineup for Spring Hill. She'll inbound.
As hard as she's been playing, though, that's only Maya Gusto's first foul.
Yeah.
UT hasn't, they only have 5, team fouls right now?
Yep.
With 23 seconds left in the half, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and only 7 on Spring Hill, so not many fouls.
Pretty clean played game.
And really not that many turnovers for a first game of the year.
Don't reach. She reached. Oh, luckily we didn't give up the layup.
Sullivan with a nice board. Quickly up court to Leopold. To the corner to Ramsey. Drives, taken away though.
One dribble too many.
And that'll do the half.
I tell you this, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but Maya Gusto jumping right at the point where the Spring Hill player was wanting to shoot that half-court shot. She made her dribble the timeout, and they didn't even get a shot off. That's an intangible move. It won't show up on the stat sheet, but it definitely helps teams win.
So we've reached halftime, and once a 27-22 game has ballooned to 38-22 Tampa with an 11-0 run with the last 4 minutes of the half. Spartans on top. We'll step out and come back and get you caught up on all the stats. Tampa 38, Spring Hill 22. Halftime right here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Champions.
Second half action, just about ready to go. Jack Ike with two-time Hall of Famer DeCarlo DeVoe. Tampa Spartans women with a 38-22 lead over Spring Hill, season opener in the 22-23 basketball season. Spartans led in scoring by Maya Goose. Well, I shouldn't say that. We only see the starters on here. It's possible Kin, I think, has double-digit points. We'll check on that. The Spartans are shooting 53%, 16 out of 30. They've shot well.
I'll take it.
Including 5 of 12 from deep. On the other side, Spring Hill is 8 for 25, 32%. 2 for 4 from the 3, so they're not as reliant. And you mentioned it earlier, they like that mid-range jump shot.
Right.
So they've only taken 4 3-pointers. 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Spartans are 1 of 2.
I mean, to be 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 50%, that's not bad. Maybe they may have to shoot a few more to try to close this UT gap.
Second half underway. Spartans inbound. They are wearing white, going right to left. That's Leopold to Sullivan. Looks at a shot, backs off. Leopold, one of the new transfers on the team. There's the other one, Sidney Kinn.
Oh, showing some range.
Yeah.
Tell you this, 38 points at the half, 19 points a quarter. That's not too bad.
Spartans averaged 76, almost 77 last year, so close to the average, right about average. But that's a pretty good amount of points. Good block by Kinn. Kinn is a transfer from the University of Findlay, a defense or a D1 school, where she averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double digit, almost double at a D1 school where she started 30 of 30 games. So she's bringing in some major experience.
Not only that, she's bringing some major defense as she hits a baseline 15 to 18 footer on one end, and she has a block and a defensive stop on the other end. So she's definitely a two-way player. She's a competitor.
So it's a grad student, so she'll be a one and done here. Ooh. Leopold to Sullivan. You know what? In a couple of weeks, that pass will make it.
Yeah.
When they get used to playing with each other.
I think it was just it probably should have been a bounce pass in that situation. So working out those first game jitters.
Leopold, a transfer as well from Samford.
I almost want to scream, turn around.
Yeah.
But she won't hear me.
Sometimes they do. Nice
Good block
by Kinn.
She has about 3 blocks
though.
Right now.
Yep.
Oh.
Bounce pass to Bowie, who lays it in off the steal. 40-24.
Everybody was retreating, and she was left back there 2-on-1.
Leopold, Sullivan, Ramsey, 3 on the way. It's going to be wide. Nelson pushing it up forward.
She missed that one, but she'll have plenty of opportunity to hit more.
Sullivan with the board.
Ramsey, that is. Stop and pop.
Short.
Go flat. Very flat. Nice rotation, but just not enough arc.
Nelson hits that one.
Nelson
now with 8.
Yeah, this Spring Hill team, as I mentioned earlier to you, Jack, they may come out of here with an L, but they'll still have gained some confidence from this experience.
They're a very young team.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Kinn laid it up too hard. Kinn with 14 points to lead Tampa. Bowie, and is that a foul on Ramsey or just out of bounds?
No, she was out of bounds on the recovery.
Okay. Nelson will inbound under the basket. To Bowie. Inside to Bowden.
Good defense. Way to hold your ground, and another block.
Didn't jump, just stood there and swatted it away. Sullivan, nice driving in.
Yep.
Sullivan with 9.
Tell you this. Usually a team starts with a little bit of imbalance as far as the offense is better than the defense or vice versa. But UT right now is playing a pretty balanced game on both ends, offensively and defensively.
Off the turnover, Spartans come the other way. Ramsey thought about it a couple times. Gusto said, I'll think about it. Won't fall, though.
That was a smooth drive.
Just wouldn't fall.
She's a pretty talented player. Nice handle, nice movement, shot didn't fall. Spring Hill, like, as we mentioned earlier, young team, they'll have a good future to look forward to because unlike the men, you don't get too many women that leave college early. So you get to build with them 4 years. You get to mold them and build a team. With the men, especially on the higher levels, it's like you have so many one-and-dones. Your recruitment and team cohesion changes every year.
Ramsey knocks down the three, making it a 19-point lead. And a steal. Ramsey on this coast-to-coast. Can she do it? The layup is up, and the Spartans lead by 21.
I'll tell you this. Even though he may not be here physically, Tom Jesse is here spiritually. Yeah. And his influence is on this team right now, and they're playing as if he's right there sitting on the bench on the sidelines, giving instructions and getting these young ladies prepared.
And, Coach, we hope everything's okay. We hope you're watching.
Yes, sir.
47-26. Ramsey had not scored until the last 30 seconds and now has 5 points.
They're going to have a lot of contributions. There will be ample opportunity for everybody that's on the floor to contribute by committee. Everyone have a chance to chip in defensively, offensively, and it makes for a bunch of happy young women on this UT Spartans team. And I'll tell you this, I mean, even though the game's far from over, but Caitlin is doing pretty well in her to lead this charge for the first game of the season in her head coaching debut.
Spring Hill to inbound.
And there's Larry, the man that makes this happen. Yeah. Fine AD, Mr. Larry Marfiz. DePaul University by way of Chicago.
Tiana Smith in the game now. That's her with the ball. Drives on Erin Antosh just in the game, and she gets called for the foul.
Yeah, she got caught a little off guard. A productive foul.
That's just the first foul of the quarter for either team.
The only thing I would say on that foul is just don't let them get the shot off. You know, just not, you don't have to Bruce Lee chop it, but just chop that shooting arm so that shot doesn't get up near the rim.
1 of 2 for Smith, and it's an even 20-point lead. 5:20 to go in third quarter.
I'll tell you this, man. Looking at Coach Caitlin over there, she looks like she could suit up and play still.
Oh, yeah. She's always looked ready to go. Marcheski, nice rebound. Antosh falling away, won't go. Gets the rebound and fouled.
Now, that's one thing Erin Antosh always brought, effort. Always. She missed the first layup, got it back. So just like that, 2 offensive rebounds.
Gusto unloads a 3, won't go. Smith with the rebound.
Good closeout by Spring Hill as Maya, I'm sure she'll be scouted as wanting to come off shooting that shot. So she just has to measure that defense out and see where they are.
Dowling missed a shot, rebound, and put it back up and in, and got fouled. She'll shoot after the timeout. It's the under 5 timeout. 4:48 to go in the third quarter. It's 47-29. I know Mike behind the mic down there always calls it a media timeout, and I say, don't blame us. We're ready to play.
Right.
We're ready to keep going. Back on the air tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Yep.
Spartans will take on West Georgia. I should say 2 o'clock-ish because today's game didn't start till about 3:20 as West Georgia lost to Rollins in a game that started at 1 o'clock. So it'll start 30 minutes after that game ends.
Right.
That game, for some reason, that game ran really long, and it was not even a close
game.
Yeah.
Well, when I first walked in, I'm like, am I late for the game? Because I thought UT was playing. I'm like, what?
I
am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity.
Rollins with a comfortable double-digit win in that one.
Yeah. Sometimes style of play can make a game longer or shorter. And I'll tell you this, with the way this game is being played, they're getting up and down the court, not a lot of turnovers, not a lot of fouls.
Yeah.
It's moving right along.
Ramsey rebounds the miss.
Antosh was open on the cut.
She can post up and be a pretty big presence, but they're trying to front her. Ramsey hits.
Oh.
Ramsey, quiet all game, has conveniently come up with 8 in about 4 minutes here.
Yes, she has. She's letting her play speak, not her voice. Yeah,
Ramsey.
Ken has 14 on 7 of 9 shooting. I mean,
that's efficient.
Man, in 21 minutes.
Nice pass inside. Smith lays it up and in.
Also 14.6 rebounds and 4 blocks.
Yeah.
She's in there like female Tim Duncan.
Gusto. Scoop.
Oh!
Wow. She did a 720 around the rim there.
I'll tell you this, like I said before, Maya Gusto lacks nothing in confidence, and she will compete. I don't care who you put in front of her, she will compete.
Well, you look at what she's done waiting for her career to get to this point. A couple of years ago, it was Chris Nelson had the starting guard spot. Last year it was Kayla Bonilla had the starting guard. A couple transfers who just kind of had more experience than Maya, and now it's her time.
She sat back and learned, and her style of play is a bit different than those two. Those two are more prototypical throwback point guards, pass first. She's a kind of whatever needs to be done, I'll do in the moment.
Yep.
Type, and she's a combo guard, but she's a lead guard more than anything. She's a leader on the floor. She'll get some assists, she'll drop some dimes, but she'll always lead with her leadership, her defensive intensity, and knocking down some big shots, and dropping off some passes to her teammates. She's a Energizer Bunny of the team.
Yep. And there she is. Ramsey drives, gets open, runner, foul before she got there. Back into the Spartan lineup is Alani Gallagher, the transfer from St. Leo.
So she's very familiar with the conference, which is good to have a transfer come over from a rival, and it's almost like she's picking a rival school over her old school.
Yeah. Same with Sarah Jones, who came from Embry-Riddle.
Right. Those will be special games when we play those teams.
Sullivan inside. Gallagher back out. Sarah Jones.
Inside-out game working.
Kicked out. The 2 conference transfers with the inside-out game there.
Yeah, Jones, she's finding her rhythm. She looks comfortable behind that three-point line. And they'll start to drop as the season goes on.
Sullivan.
Nice crossover.
In. Up to double digits, 11 points. Third Spartan in double digits. Gusto also with 11 and Kin with 14.
And Ken did it so efficiently.
Yeah, 7 of 9.
I mean, she didn't waste anything.
Gallagher with the rebound.
The 4 blocks are what's most impressive.
Yeah.
She's on the ball, quick hands, quick reactions, good footwork, always in the right position.
Come back the other way. Nelson swatted at by Sullivan. There might have been a foul on Gusto before, yeah.
I think it was. She got her on the ground.
And it'll be a shooting foul. 4 team fouls on Tampa. Leopold back in the lineup for Gusto. Leopold, another one of the transfers we've talked about, coming from Samford University, but from Seffner Christian Academy here in Hillsborough County.
Yeah, Armwood is out there near Seffner. So they've been a perennially good sports program, especially in football.
Mm-hmm. Hits them both, 54-34. And substitution number 11 is Adeline Kent, a freshman from Becker High School in Becker, Minnesota, coming into the lineup.
I'll tell you this, with a 20-point lead, this is where sometimes people can kind of relax and figure we're up 20, I can do this, I can do that. No, this is where you still got to buckle down, especially coming in as a reserve. You still got to play within the system and find your spots so that you can earn more playing time as the season wears on. It's almost like a 3-guard lineup in right now.
It is, yeah. Sullivan, free throw line jumper, won't fall, tipped. Gallagher has it go off her,
yep.
And it will stay here.
A team rebound, but what was able to make that happen is Gallagher's hustle on the offensive glass.
Inbound to Gallagher. Sullivan. Nobody stopped her, just drives the lane, won't fall though.
Way to avoid the charge, but good defense by Spring Hill to get her in her way.
Nelson off the rim and out of bounds. Becker coming into the lineup for Tampa. Kent from Becker, Minnesota coming into the game. Is a all-state 3 years at Becker High School, and she won a state title. So she's got some pretty big experience.
I would say so.
But she's a freshman and has to learn the rules of the Tampa game.
I'll tell you this, that the number 2 pick in the draft was from Minnesota that played at Gonzaga.
Yeah, and I think his last name is Jones.
The big 7-foot, what's his name
I was thinking
again?
of a guard.
Hold on, now that's going to rattle my brain until I remember who it was.
I tell you what, Minnesota's the land of Paul Bunyan, and they're always growing 6'10", 7-foot players, and not just one. There's like a half dozen every year.
Yep.
Started with guys like Kevin McHale.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of
Chet
started.
Holmgren. No relation to Mike Holmgren, the Green Bay coach.
You know, it started with Kevin McHale and Randy Brewer. And I'm in the Wayback Machine there, but I know.
And remember, Michael Thompson attended University of Minnesota also. He's from the Bahamas.
He's from the Bahamas, though.
Yep. The funny thing is, strategically, when he was with Portland, the Lakers traded for him just so when they match up against the Celtics in the finals, he can guard McHale. Because he knew him from college. He knew how to neutralize him. Because Kevin McHale,
he was good.
He could have been a centerpiece to start a franchise around him. And Charles Barkley mentioned that Kevin McHale was his toughest matchup, one of them, at the power forward position.
But he also had help from Robert Parrish and Larry
Bird. I mean, no, but yeah. But McHale, that up and under move, two modern-day players that kind of reminded me of McHale, like McHale 2.0. One was Tim Duncan. And one was also Pau Gasol with the Euro spin. They're built like him, long arms, very fundamentally sound.
Michael Thompson's son doing fairly well.
Oh, my gosh. Fairly well.
Klay Thompson.
A 2-year hiatus due to injury and comes back and becomes an NBA champion. He has enough rings to give his dad and mom each one and still have 2 left over. But his dad is a 2-time champion with the Lakers, so I guess he has the bragging rights in the family now.
Bounce pass, Sullivan off the glass and in.
Nice pass.
That was from Leopold on the assist. At the buzzer, we played 3 quarters, and it's 57-34. So the Spartans, who had upped it to 16 at the end of the second quarter, halftime, have made it a 23-point game with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, they're trying to set a tone right from the season start.
Spartans are shooting.
I
I am an NCAA student athlete.
and I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
10 minutes to go, 57-34. Jack Ike along with the 2-time Hall of Famer DeCarlo DeVoe. Men's basketball team starting up at 5 on the road. They're at Montevallo as they have a 2-game weekend up in Alabama. Women, again, we will play again tomorrow at 2. Spartans will host West Georgia. This is a Sunshine State Conference SIAC crossover weekend. Rollins also participating.
Yeah, for Rollins, it's nice to play on this UT court. I mean, not to say they're not used to it, but it's nice to get a feel on your opponent's court. So when you return, you know you already had that previous experience playing there. If you notice, the lighting in each gym is a bit different.
Yep. And I've noticed some of the gyms look a little more cracker boxish, a little smaller.
Yep.
Some have a little. This one has a lot of room.
Right. The crowd and the seats are not right on the court.
Yeah.
She made a nice move, but took an extra step or two.
Yeah, little hop. Spartans by 23 on the drive. Samantha Hardison fouled. Foul on Leopold. Knocks the first one down.
Nice lefty free throw stroke.
Lefty's always, that's redundant to say
I
lefties.
know, right?
Yeah.
Chris Mullen.
Me.
Jack Ike.
I just never took it to a higher level.
Yeah, most lefties normally have a more natural follow through. It seems.
That's Kent. Jumper in the lane. Oh, won't fall.
This is pretty significant getting playing time at this juncture in the game and at this point in the season.
For the freshman? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. I mean, I think there were only 2 freshmen on the roster, but 3 of them, and she's the first one to come in.
Right. I think one is hurt, the point guard.
One is hurt. There's Roberto. And there's Moreau.
from St. Cloud.
Okay.
If you look on the end of the bench, she's not dressed up.
Oh, okay. Sarah Jones with the drive.
Yep, slicing to the basket.
Three deep, airballed, taken away. Sarah Jones pushing it up.
3-on-1. Pick your poison.
Nice job. Pass to Ramsey and in. Three guards there leading the break, and Jones picked one of them, the other two. And the lead is 25, 61-36.
I'll tell you this. Addie, as Coach Elena referred to Adeline, she's pretty alert defensively. She's moving her feet. I'm watching her, and she's not out there stuck in mud. You know, she's getting up and down that floor.
Jones, nice pass. Gallagher foul.
Almost an and one on the assist. That was very unselfish, and that becomes infectious. I mean, Sarah Jones could have easily shot that shot.
Yep. Women's team, as we mentioned, picked preseason number 2 in the conference, but also preseason 17th ranked nationally.
Yeah.
Eckerd is the preseason pick by the conference coaches.
They're a perennial top 20 team now, it seems, nationally.
It was very close, though, when you look at the point totals.
Right.
Eckerd got 97, Tampa 94, and then the next was Barry in the 60s or 70s.
Eckerd was a UT nemesis last season.
Yeah, they have been. They're always a good program.
Right. They've fallen off, you know, for some reasons at Eckerd, so it'll be nice to see them get back up to their competitive ranks. But, you know, they're transitioning.
Yep. The women, first 4 games are at home. Between now and the next 8 days, Spartans will have played 4 home games. And then in December, every game the Spartans play in the month of December is a home game.
Wow.
So we're going to be busy. 2 of them are the Tampa tournament, holiday tournament. Leopold. Kent, a little too strong.
It was a good look. She just overshot it. But that's the thing, the first game jitters.
Now a little backcourt pressure. Lead down to 25. Kent looking. Jones not afraid to put it up and hit.
She's finding her stroke.
That's now 4 for 9 from the floor, 3 for 7 from deep, and a foul on the drive on Kent.
Yeah, she's finding her stroke. I noticed her follow-through was very pure on that last shot she made. Textbook. I'll tell you this, working with Coach Elena, these, you know, the shooters will shoot and shoot well because.
Antosh with a steal. Quickly up to Ramsey.
Good
bounce pass to Leopold, who.
Oh!
Funny. It was too easy.
In that delivery pass.
But a steal by.
Okay. Making
Kent.
up for the missed layup. Good pass.
To Jones. Tipped. Kent with the rebound. Now they're just going to set it up.
Nice drive.
And a foul called on the drive. Ramsey will go to the line.
Nice drive. Way to use the pick and roll. Way to be patient. I'll tell you this, Jack. I'm very impressed with the, you know, especially for a first game, and I must compliment the UT women's coaching staff because this level of unselfish play, this didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
this level of success, it didn't just happen. It's not been an overnight process. It's been year after year, season after season of breeding these young women for success as a cohesive unit. And it always shows on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pleasure to watch them.
Almost a steal. Bowie misses, gets her rebound, blocked by Antosh, and here comes Jones.
Oh, off to the races, 2-on-2, nice pass.
Up to Kent, who lays it in.
Tell you this, freshman in the scoring books.
I was just looking at the assist total. The Spartans have made 27 baskets, 19 assists.
That's great.
That's good distribution.
And for the freshman working so hard, it's nice for her to be rewarded by Sarah Jones to get in the scoring column. That's always a confidence booster. Yeah, that first basket.
Ramsey on the drive falls out of bounds, and it will be Spring Hill ball.
It looks like she was helped down to the floor, though, Jack.
4:49 to go in the game. We'll take a timeout and be back for the final 5 minutes right after this.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Spring Hill bringing the ball up. 30-point deficit now, 4:45 to go in the game. Jumper on the way from Mann, no good, out of bounds. Tampa ball.
Yeah, good box out by the freshman, Adelaide Kent. I tell you this is one of those moments where it's doing the right thing wrong. Now, you have a 30-point lead. You want to either maintain this lead or build upon it. But if you do that, are you accused of running up the score? See what I'm saying? Remember the Billy Tubbs Oklahoma Sooner teams?
Oh, yeah. Wayman Tisdale, those players. Sarah Jones escapes the sideline, passing.
Good hustle.
Just into the lineup is Bella Stidel. That's her. Oh, she's out of bounds on the catch. Stidel is a junior, a transfer in from Loyola University, but also a local product. I take that back. It's Clearview High School, not Clearwater High School. Clearview, New Jersey. But another transfer in
There's
from a
several
D1 school.
Loyolas. I wonder if it's the one in Chicago.
Well, I don't know. There's New Orleans and there's Chicago.
Yep.
So it does not say. Let's see if I can narrow it down here.
I remember great player Lionel Simmons. He went to Loyola of Chicago. He played with the Sacramento
I don't know. He
Kings.
went to LaSalle.
LaSalle?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. Who went to Loyola?
They had a really good scorer there maybe 20 or 30 years ago. And they made the Final Four a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or the Elite Eight anyway. Antosh, no good. Rebound, no good. Tipped out of bounds, and got to be a little frustrating.
Nevertheless, another offensive rebound.
Now you got me on that Loyola player. Steal.
Antosh lost her footing.
Yep.
Good block.
Antosh with the rebound.
Oh, freshman with some nifty ball handling. Okay, Addie.
Yeah.
I see you.
All right, we'll step out too with a timeout on the court. 70-42, Tampa up, 3:13 to go.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path.
3 minutes to go. Ramsey loses the ball, and a foul on Steidel. Steidel, I should say. Well, we mentioned at the beginning of the game that Spring Hill was young and started 3 freshmen and a sophomore and a junior. No seniors.
And hearing from Coach Joe Nyland, who was actually one of my coaches here during my freshman campaign here at University of Tampa, he's now an administrator up at Spring Hill. He said their best player was ruled ineligible, so they're another player down. And they're also young and youthful.
Steal by Jones. Dances her way past a few people, and the Spartans have the ball. Kent backs it out. And something going on in the lane, and I think Antosh may get to shoot some free throws. That'll be the 5th foul of the quarter on Spring Hill, which is an automatic 1-on-1, or automatic 2 shots. Women's college basketball quarters, and it takes 5 team fouls, and then they're automatic 2-shot fouls.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, UT has 9 steals, which one more they'll be in double digits.
Yeah.
And they've turned a lot of those steals into easy points.
Antosh hits 1 of 2.
They've ran that play several times now. The UT player is tough because you're running back following that player, but your back is turned to the ball and they're throwing it right to your blind side.
Foul, or a traveling called on Nelson. Spartans get the ball. Kent to inbound. So we wondered with the number of people who left through graduation last year where some of the scoring, rebounding would come from. I think we got some pretty good answers in a game like this. Antosh, nice job inside, scores. Kin picked up 14 points and has been sitting on the bench watching for the entire 4th quarter.
I'm glad that Aaron got a bucket to go through the hoop. She always works hard, and wiping off the preseason jitters, and now she's in the scoring column with her first bucket for the season.
And a foul and 1. Nelson on the drive.
The good thing about this Spring Hill team, youth and inexperience. At the same time, it keeps you up even when you're down because they haven't played hard. They haven't lost their courage to come out here and still compete even though they're down. They were down 30.
Little backcourt resistance. Get finally into Ramsey.
Oh, nice dribble move.
Yeah. I think one thing the Spartans found out in this game, too, is Gusto and Ramsey can run the point pretty well.
Right, and they can do it by committee. You may not have one person average 8 or 9 assists, but once you have everybody playing unselfishly, look at
Steidl.
Nice shot. But if you look at the Golden State Warriors, they don't have any one player averaging double-digit assists. They're a good passing team, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, making the right pass to lead to the shot.
Kent bounce pass to Antosh. And traveled, double dribbled anyway. It changed. She found herself too wide open there.
Yeah, she got anxious. She was like, I'm surprised.
And pass above everybody, out of bounds. Tampa ball, 47 seconds left in the game. Again, some backcourt resistance. Ramsey across the timeline.
Yeah, she's very well using her left hand on the dribble, bringing it up court against the pressure.
Lobbing it inside. Antosh knocked away and taken away. Bowie on the drive. Backing down Kent. Turn around. Off the glass. No good. Rebound. Back out. Jumper in the lane. Bounces around and in by Nelson. And we'll stop play for a second here with 10 seconds to go. Inbound to Ramsey.
Once again.
And even with 8 seconds to go, Spring Hill showing the effort.
Now, the one thing with Ramsey is she may see this on the film. She crossed to the middle of the court, but at that point, she was wide open to go up the left sideline, and she had a teammate, Bella Steidl, wide open on the left side. She just pushed it up, but she crossed back into the defense.
After this game, they will convert this to a volleyball venue with a volleyball game at 7 o'clock. Volleyball's busy, 7 o'clock today, 7 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Sunday. So we thought basketball had a busy day, a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Volleyball even more. Final 5 seconds coming up.
Good
3
challenge.
From deep, no good. Antosh rebounds, will just hold on to it, and the Spartans get a 30-point win. Final score, Tampa 77, Spring Hill 47. Tampa off and running 1-0 on the season. Quick recap on the scoring. Audrey Ramsey, 14 points, and she didn't score her first bucket until about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. So she picked up a lot of points. Sydney Kinn with 14. Audra Leopold with 2. Ramsey with 14, as I mentioned. Sullivan with 13. Kent finished with 2. Sarah Jones 11. Gallagher had 3. Marcheski 2. Steidl 2. Antosh with 3. Spartans 30 of 61 from the field, 49.2%. 8 of 22 from 3, that's 36%. And 9 of 12 from the free throw line. For Spring Hill, Nelson with 16 to lead the way. Pook had 3. Dowling had 2. Bowie had 11. Bowden 2. Jordan 2. Hardison 3. Mann 2. Smith with 3. And Harris with 3. They were 17 of 58 from the floor, 29%. 2 of 9 from 3, 22%. And 11 of 16 from the free throw line, 68%. So Spartans go to 1-0. As we said, they're converting the court to volleyball. We will be back for a 2 o'clock game tomorrow. For DeCarlo DeVoe, this is Jack Ike saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 of the 22-23 basketball season.